What's going on, people? Welcome to the Offside Chat podcast. It's your boy Naber, joined in the podcast studio, as you know, the one and only Naeem. What's going on, Naeem? Got the Where's Wally t-shirt on today, man. That's good. Where are you, man?
What environment I'm in, isn't it? That's it.
Yeah, I think that's
all is blessed, you know. All is blessed. I'm out in the bush, as always, in hiding.
Yeah.
But yeah, all is blessed. You know, looking forward to a lot of things happen this weekend. Looking forward to chatting.
For sure. And obviously we have got Southeast's finest, but he's trying to beg, black tracksuit Skepta. I know he's one of his heroes as well. North London, so he supports Arsenal, begging to be part of BBK. So one and only BBK wannabe is Edward. What's going on, Edward? What's going on, brother?
You know where Arsenal originated from, my manner. So don't ever start with that rubbish. You know what I mean about North London. Don't beg North London. Woolwich Arsenal.
Thank God he's talking football today because I was full of the sleep, you know what I mean? But it's cool. Listen, there's nothing wrong with it.
You can't all be like you, supreme, you know what I mean? Just on a regular Monday night, innit? You know what I mean?
You're seeing things. Get those
glasses. So it's Alibaba?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah? Okay, cool. Yeah, so on record, you're wearing fake gums?
Never.
Exactly.
Never.
Yeah? Cool.
You're a good one. Very good. You knew you got recorded. I thought, the joke's done. Yeah, let me not have this. But listen, we're not here to talk about people begging North London. We're not
wearing fake gums.
Talk about or wearing fake gums. We're not here to talk about Where's Wally. We're here to talk about football. And it has been a very, very, very interesting weekend in the Premier League. And listen, we need to start one place only. It started off as hate watching. I think now it's just, I'm speaking to other supporters and it's kind of like things are just inevitable now. We're going to have to start at the Emirates on Sunday, Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. Listen, Crystal Palace, very, very, very tough team. Very, very tough team. And for any other supporters out there, if your club and the fixture is Crystal Palace, I'm telling you, it's going to be a very, very tough game because that's one of the most hardest watches I've had to have. But listen, Eze keeps Arsenal top. Edward, man, what did you make of the game?
Another tough watch. Yeah, I echo what you say about Palace, man. They're a proper side, a proper outfit. Yeah, their structure is top. They don't give much away. There's no spaces, so you can't really exploit the gaps. So yeah, it was looking at one of those tough games, to break down the opposition. And yeah, it was going to take a bit of magic. And luckily we had that with Eze, brilliant strike. I know people are saying, set pieces, but it wasn't really a set piece. It was a second phase. Obviously, the balls dropped down and he was there to slow it home with a magical finish, man, an acrobatic finish. A difficult height as well, so fair play to him. And it was written, wasn't it? It was going to be him to score against his old team. Yeah, I mean, so I'm happy for him to get off the mark in the Prem for us against his old side. But in terms of it being a watch, it was very tough to see. It wasn't the best. I think the injuries are starting to creep up with us now. Saka had to come off. Apparently he didn't train all week. Gabriel didn't train all week as well. So you could tell that we were missing the Odegaards, the Nonnies. But I don't mind, man. You have to win. And if you win ugly, if you win beautifully, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's 3 points. So we just have to keep on going, man. One game a week. But yeah, it wasn't the best watch. Very, very difficult, actually, to be fair. So
yeah,
take them all day long.
Yeah, listen, I have to echo you with Eze. I think this is just a beautiful story with Eze because look, you've got a boy who Arsenal supporter at the club. You can imagine a young man being at a club of your dreams and then being released, heartbroken. We leave it in prayer, and you find yourself back at Crystal Palace. And look, it's becoming something that he does at the Emirates. He scored a spectacular goal. I mean, last season he scored a volley, which was a lovely one for Crystal Palace. He returns one or two murmurings like, oh my gosh, he's not really hitting the ground running. Let's talk about Eze, this and that. Palace, difficult game. And you look at where Arsenal were last season and you always wanted that match winner. Somebody, you know, when there's a low block, a little bit of magic. We had that in the years gone past with Sanchez or Henri. You know, these guys, like, just look, something magic's going to happen. You know, free kick as well that got up. Gabriel again, who I'll speak about in a second, headers it down, and then he just does the, you know, Daniel LaRusso. As I said, if you've watched Karate Kid 1, you know about that. The only thing that was missing was that Daniel's on, and he just came on and done that. So honestly, it was amazing. Honestly, man, it was an amazing finish, and it's actually suited to win the game. It was a horrible game. Palace, they've gone up in my estimation, as I said. I mean, I've always rated them. I think Glasner's doing an incredible job. I haven't really come up against a Palace team that were that difficult. I mean, for me, because I don't know, they just, the width of the pitch, the fullbacks were bombing forward. For Mitchell had a good game as well. Mateta is a complete handful. Sarr, you know something can happen. So I know they only had one shot on target, and that was when Nketiah came on and he kind of headed it and then saved it. So again, testament to Arsenal as well. We're all sitting here saying that it was an uncomfortable watch, but people are not getting shots on goal. That's probably why we're getting so used to the defender, but it's actually quite abnormal what's going on. You know, like teams are actually, I want to know when they do score, which hopefully they don't. They're probably going to celebrate like nobody's business because they know this is horrible, man. Like people are already drawing comparisons with the Chelsea 04-05 already. That's a compliment within itself. Now, listen, it's late October. It's very early, but huge win. And it just goes to show, like what Ed said before I go to Naeem, we're winning any way you want to do it. We're winning any way you want to do it. Before it's from a set piece now. I was not from a corner. They're waiting for a corner. I think that's one of the games we had the least corners. I was actually waiting, thinking, hold on, Palace have done well. They just did not want to give a corner away. Silly to give the foul against Saka there. And you're just going to get punished. So now when you're the opposition, you're thinking to yourself, right, I'm gonna have to double team Saka, but I can't. Gyökeres is you know, taking up a lot of space here. He's gonna be a handful. Obviously, Trossard, we know against Fulham, he's a match winner, so you've got to watch him for 90 minutes. And if it's not that, it's gonna be a corner or it's gonna be a set piece. And they probably felt they dealt with that. And then Eze just does a magical scissor kick like that to win 1-0. So yeah, listen, testament to Palace, but huge win. Especially the fact that you had Liverpool and City. Obviously, we'll talk about Spurs, Sunderland doing very, very well. Man United now as well. But when you do look at kind of like the top three teams in the country, you're going to be looking at Liverpool and Manchester City. And when they both drop points, not even drop points, but they both lose, you want to take advantage. And watching that game, I was like, I knew it. I just knew it. Like Liverpool losing, City losing enough. I knew Palace, they're just going to turn up and make it very difficult for us. I just thought, I bet this ain't going to be no easy 3-4-0. They're going to do their best. And they really made us uncomfortable. A lot of players off form yesterday as well. However, we're getting the job done. And we're getting the job done quite in a convincing way. I know it's a 1-0, but it was more of a convincing one. So salute to them. Naeem, thoughts on the game? Obviously, you must have been torn being a Palace fan part-time. When Arsenal are out of all the competitions, and then you turned up at Wembley, didn't you?
I was invited to Wembley, yes.
Okay. Were you there 2005 FA Cup when Arsenal won? Were you there at the 2020 FA Cup when Arsenal won? 2002 when Arsenal 98?
I believe after 2005, one of them I was abroad. Yeah, I was with you, innit?
Oh. Doing what?
How's that your memories gone?
What were you two doing?
With who?
No, I was at the FA Cup, not abroad with you, bro. No, you I was back in. No, I was the other. No, not at all, brother. You just come to South Africa due to other reasons.
Remember, we had discussed that at that time. But yeah, go on though. But Naeem, honestly, all jokes aside.
No, on all seriousness, I think you both made some really good points in terms of the game. It was. I think we were on the WhatsApp group saying it was a pretty poor game generally to watch. I think. That was credit to Palace. I think they stifled Arsenal pretty well. I think we've discussed it before in the past couple how highly regarded Glasner is. And we know that, other clubs, I'm sure, eyeing him up as well. He was a proven winner when he came across, obviously he won in Europe, Eintracht Frankfurt. And I think you've got the team plays for him. I mean, remember they played Thursday as well, and they lost as well in Europe, which was a bit of a shock. So yeah, credit to them. These are the sort of games where Eze's there for, isn't he? To match winner, to your point. The technique, I think the finish was underrated. I think you made a great point. For him, he was a bit off balance, had that defender then to finish like he did. Full credit to him. Sonsbury, it would be against Palace. But full credit to Arsenal, I think, especially this last season, when every time Liverpool dropped points, Arsenal would do. The same with City. This is where I think the mentality is a bit stronger this year. The squad's a bit better. Again, but it was one of those. A friend of mine I was chatting to as well, who's not an Arsenal fan, made a point about. He goes, as soon as that first goal goes in, he might as well switch the game off because he knows Arsenal are going to go win. I think that's a testament to how well Arsenal defensively have been. Not much else to add. I thought it wasn't a great game. There was no one who really stood out for Arsenal. But you know what? This is the sort of games last season have been 1-1. So, full credit to Arsenal in that aspect. And
yeah, do you know what? I'm going to interject, and I do think there's someone that stood out, and I just want to give him his flowers now, officially. And I've got to say that Gabriel, and don't let me mince my words, this is one of the world's best defenders. He's one of the best currently in world football. Let me tell you something about this Gabriel, because there was a time before, I think possibly one of Arteta's best signings, because when you actually look at it now, there was a time before that it was Saliba was the Rolls Royce and Gabriel was kind of, rough and ready, he's the supporting act. Then it came to a situation where you're splitting hairs between them, which is fair to do that. But now Gabriel has become some sort of, he is the talisman. You wouldn't think that a centre-back would be, because we're getting plaudits for the defence, and he's part of that. He's the leader. He's the all-action leader of that defence. But also, when it comes to offensively, he's also one of the biggest threats. He's moving like Shaq right now. Yeah, he's our Shaquille O'Neal, because he's dunking on man. He is. Do you not think every training session they're working out? We got Arsenal on the weekend. Watch Gabriel. He don't care.
No.
I don't care how many man you're putting on me. I don't care what you're doing. If I'm not winning headers at the back and leading us to be the best defense in the country or Europe, I'm also a very high scoring centre back. You look at the Palace, that's an assist. So we're talking about how well we defend. That's an assist, and a very good assist. He wasn't winning that for himself. He knocked it back into the 6-yard box for that to be headed. He should have scored a second one at the back post.
Yeah, second half.
He had to count his, his fruit and veg. Thank God he survived that, because obviously his legs, he went in between the posts. But remember, he hit the crossbar as well from his head. He's gone away at Newcastle, scored again. There's just been countless times that this guy is dunking on people. Like this is that's what I'm trying to say. He's Shaq attacking in his prime. So you're talking about someone there that I believe this, and I'll speak for anyone. If Gabriel was available and we're going to anyone's football club in Europe, they would be excited, because I would be excited. I think, oh my God, we're getting Gabriel. Defensively, he's strong. Offensively, he's strong. He's a warrior.
He's a leader. He's a leader in that team.
Leader. Do you know what I mean? So for me, we say that, okay, yeah, who was maybe nobody really stood out. And sometimes I do that myself. We would just look at the offensive players, or this was a good performance. But Saliba is, for me, a Rolls Royce of a defender. But I'm always on corners, set pieces. I'm looking for Gabriel to keep it a clean sheet for us. But also, offensively, they're looking at Gabriel. He's doing more than a centre forward in terms of when you get that ball in the box. I don't know who's going to stop him, because everybody's tried. So for me, leader. And if he carries on, I think he has to get an award. There's no question about that.
PFA.
I mean, I'm jumping the gun now, but I'm just saying he's pivotal for Arsenal. Pivotal for Arsenal.
100%.
So, yeah, I think he was amazing. But yeah, Ed, just to finalize that now, people have questioned you in the past, rightfully so, being pessimistic. You despise Arteta. You're still pro Wenger. You're very negative. You know, a bit of a grump, to be fair. You know, when it comes to Arsenal, you're never happy. You know, Aubameyang gets golden boots. You're questioning, you're going through with a fine line. Okay, but what teams was it? Like, you're a horrible, negative man. However, this season, I don't know. I'm just getting something. It's like a breath of fresh air from you, man. Like, he wrote something in the group chat. I had to double check it was him. I thought it was someone his phone back, but I actually like it. Ed, what's your thoughts? Very early days now, but you seem to be a different man.
One game at a time, man. One game at a time. But I'm quietly confident, man. Quietly confident. I think we will be there. We will be there at the end of the season. Come May, we'll be there. But it's early days, man. But what I don't like is suddenly, now that we're top and we're 4 points clear at the top in October, you're seeing idiots saying, oh, if Arsenal don't win this league, shut up, man. Shut up. Why is there smoke for Arsenal, but there's no smoke for Liverpool? We spent £400 million.
Great point.
To be better than what they were last season. And they were 5 points clear. Remember, at one point.
Yeah.
They were 5 points clear. I was seeing tweets. You know who he is. Oh, 5 points clear, and the clocks ain't even gone back. He knows exactly who he is. He knows who he is. The clocks have gone back. So we're 4 points clear.
Yeah.
And that brings us on to our next point, man. Well said, Ed. Liverpool lose 4 in a row. Now, this is a funny one because, listen, good couple of weeks ago, I said crisis. My dear brother Ed said, Nobs, relax, man. I don't know. We tussled after. I said, no, Ed, I insist this gets put into the thing. Oh, I don't know. You get all right, cool. We're now, Liverpool lost 4 games all last season. They've lost 4 in a row now, latest against Brentford. You know, look, they traveled away in the Champions League, Frankfurt doing their thing. Wert's got an assist, obviously, Ekatike. You kind of looked at that game. To be fair, I was actually going to watch a movie. I'm not going to lie. I was resigned to thinking, I don't really like to watch rivals, and I think this is going to be 3 points for them. It doesn't bring me any joy. I don't mind checking to see if it's 1-0, then I'll pause the movie, but I had no intention of watching it. But then I was, persuaded to watch it. And Brentford, I'll tell you one thing before we go in on Liverpool. They're missing Thomas Frank. I know Spurs are doing their thing, but what a performance. Honestly, if anybody's old enough to remember Pro Evolution Soccer, and you remember when the plays were all on red, and you just thought, okay, I don't know what's going on there. They were all over Liverpool. Honestly, exposing them left, right, and centre. But Naeem, what did you think of the game? Because I wasn't expecting that, and I was very, very impressed by Brentford. And we need to talk about Liverpool seriously now.
I think when we spoke last time on the show, we said it's maybe a bit early to call it a crisis. I think you can now. I think if you include the Champions League, they lost 5 and 6 as well. I thought maybe that the win away would have been a bit of a catalyst, but it wasn't, was it? I thought credit to Brentford. I thought Keith Andrews getting charged there. Losing a couple of their best players as well. You thought, I think at the start of the season, they looking at towards the bottom and they're going to struggle, but I think they fully deserve their win. I think one thing Slot's come out with, and I think, I'll give you the credit for this, is when they're under pressure, is how they react as a manager. You said it with Ange previously, and I think we're seeing Slot now coming out with comments about everyone's playing, long throw-ins, isn't it? That's the excuse. Now, if you're struggling against them and you're telling everyone that we're struggling against them, I don't think that's the greatest mentality to have, right? As a coach. So it shows that he's cracking a bit. A couple of things for me is that the balance of the team, he's gone too top heavy, obviously, with some of the players. Now, Isak's out injured, I believe. So maybe that might. Yeah. Which he's, all due respect, he gets an injury once a season, doesn't he? So unfortunately for him, maybe that injury might give the team a bit more balance. However, I've got maybe a few concerns about maybe man management skills with Slot. He came in last year, used Klopp's team. Let's be fair, right?
This is
didn't sign any players. Everything I'm saying is pure facts.
But yeah, I hear you. Yeah, it didn't really count, but yeah.
Yeah, but and I think look, it's surprising how poor they've been in it, considering they're 5 points clear. They're what? It's a 12-point swing now from Arsenal, but they're 5 points clear of Arsenal now.
Yes.
They're 7 points behind, and this is what in a month or so, in 6 weeks. I think there is a bit of man management there. There's got to be, because he can't get the balance right. One thing that's very clear though is that without that Kirkes, I was relatively impressed with him at Bournemouth, but when he plays, he just exposes Van Dijk down the left side, and the amount of joy that's coming there, I think Ed says everything with that hand gesture as being polite. There's a lot of issues in that team. When their biggest fanboy Carragher's shouting, saying there's a crisis, there's a problem there, right? But I want to give credit to Brentford. I thought Brentford fully deserved their win, and it caused a lot of problems to people with this season. Some of their players, but yeah, I think if you're Liverpool, you should be winning at Brentford, especially this Brentford team currently. And let's see how they manage it now, because there's no excuses with injuries. I know A6 out, but you spend £400 million. There's no excuse with injuries when other teams have had that issues. So yeah, I think they have got a problem, and let's see what Slot does.
I think well said, Naeem, and very well said. Because listen, look, our eyes don't lie to us. This is what just shocks me sometimes with Liverpool supporters. It's like they think that we're not watching the same game as them. Like there's this, because the club is mythical and the history, yada yada yada, that we don't understand the game. But eyes don't lie. They haven't been good this season, and they've been getting away with it. Newcastle, you got away with it, and you know what they kept telling me? Don't worry, we're not playing good, and we're still winning. You wait till it clicks. Well, something is clicking, all right, and that's your grip on that Premier League. That's what's clicking. Another thing that's clicking is your fullbacks. I've said it once, I've said it thrice. The disrespect for Trent and the way they were ready to just rubbish Robertson, he's over the hill now, for Kirkes, Frimpong, and Connor Bradley. And you're being exposed. They are not better fullbacks than these Liverpool legends. They're just not. Throw whatever you want at Trent about defensively. What he gives you offensively, he's an absolutely fantastic football player. And he's bailed you out many, many times. Again, on the left side, I know Robertson is, his powers are waning now. I understand that. But like I said, Kirkes is not better than him. These guys might for the future, and I understand that. But that's what I said. Just relax. When Frimpong was being bought, I said, okay, I don't know how much you've watched him. Again, look, I'm saying these things. No one's listening. Words, I said, relax here. Relax. I don't know how much Bundesliga you're watching. Now, listen, he is a technically fantastic player. German Player of the Year. He deserves it. But why did you want a 10? It's very, very surprising that you have spent 400 mil, and then now you're going back to the team from last season when all you really did was just move Gravenberch, a stroke of genius, by the way, with that move, and you put him in the system. Now you're getting back to that midfield. Now it's like, obviously, Isak is injured. And you know what's so funny about Isak being injured? We know that he's a bit injury prone. It's a groin injury. It's not going to last too long. But something, I don't know about how you, man, felt. Something kind of felt like Slot was like, oh, thank God for that. At least I don't have this conundrum with, am I going to play Ekatike or, because if he wants to play Ekatike, he's got £130 million asset now on the bench, probably thinking, I want to play Ekatike, and he's nearly 90 M. So now when one of them's injured, someone's just going to start from the start. People are telling me Ekatike is the best striker out there. Oh, he's the signing of the summer. It's not looking really good out there because Brentford, he didn't get a sniff. So Van Dijk now seems to be getting refereed properly, like the rest of the centre-backs in the history of the Premier League. Like now they actually, is that a foul? Are you okay? We're not. Are you sure about that? You're going to go to VAR, going to shout the ref to. Honestly, I didn't know what I was watching.
Upgrade it as well. Upgrade it.
Wow.
When it was a free kick, then it was like,
doesn't happen.
Penalty. Okay.
He's shocked as well. Van Dijk is actually shocked. Like, what? This you never used to give me these. Kanate looked so, but listen, they keep getting hit on the break. So I think Alisson is a huge miss as well. I mean, he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. So let's be fair about that. But look, it is still very early days. And for me, you don't spend 400 million in the summer and don't win the Premier League. Forget the pressure that you're putting on Arsenal Football Club and Manchester City. I don't want to hear all of that. You're the current champions. Just this summer, you're probably one of the best teams that's ever existed. Okay, I'm being facetious, but Liverpool supporters, they never stop singing for a whole year. You're the best team in the country. You're the current Premier League champions, and you've strengthened like nobody else has strengthened before. 400 million, back-to-back British transfer records. So I don't want to hear about this is Arsenal's to lose. I still expect you to turn this around with the players that you've got. You're under pressure to turn this around. I don't care. You 400 mil. That's unprecedented.
They've got Villa. One thing is interesting about they've got Villa, Madrid, and then City in the next 3 games.
I expect them to do as Liverpool said they're going to do. Yeah, turn this around. I expect Wirtz to stand up now. These are the games that he's supposed to do that. I expect it because this is 130 M now. All this time and grace, and obviously Naeem, he's had time to reflect on his comment about Robert Pires and stuff like that. I hope so anyway. But look, again, Robert Pires didn't cost 113 M. That was a British transfer record. So I don't expect you to, we need time. We're 10 games in, bro.
116. Yeah. Get the number right. 116 million British pounds, bro.
And look again, against Brentford, even I had a Liverpool supporter said, did he play?
Does he ever play?
So it's really not looking good. The only one for me that's looking half decent and very dangerous is Gakpo. He's looking very dangerous for me.
Szoboszlai as well. I think Szoboszlai
is looking good as well.
Yeah, he's looking all right. Paid deeper, really. But Ed, crisis now. Are we here now?
It's a crisis, bro. It's a crisis.
Look at his smile. Smile.
Crisis, isn't it? You know what I mean? 4 in a row. 4 in a row. It's a crisis, my brothers. It's a crisis. It's a crisis. It is a crisis. Yeah, hold that, Liverpool, man. No sympathy for you, man. None whatsoever. But besides spending the 400 million in the summer to get better, you've given Salah 400k a week, and you've given, I think, Van Dijk
the same,
maybe the same, roughly 350, right? Either way, you've given your 2 stalwarts who you could say are probably, if they're not past their prime, coming towards the end of their prime, a crazy amount of money. And it might be a bit of a dodgy decision. Now, like, it's early days. Obviously, it's early days. It's still in October. They know how to win the league. They're the current champions. They know how to win trophies. It's been a trophy-laden spell. So they could turn it around. They have the know-how and the wherewithal to turn it around. But when you look at Liverpool play, like you said, Nobs, they just haven't been good in any game. They've been the first 5 or 6 games, it was life and death. Then they've been losing very sloppily now. Defensively, they're woeful. Kirkes is exposing Van Dijk. Van Dijk is having to, defend spaces that he never used to do. He's getting pulled out of position constantly. Kirkes has been atrocious is harsh, but he's been very, very bad. It looks like the step up is too high. The step up is way too high for him. And obviously he might get better. It's early days, like you said, but he wasn't bought to be a reclamation project. He was bought to start and be the replacement for Robertson. Everyone said that Robertson's over the hill, even though he's only 31, but it's an old 31 with the amount of games he's played and the high running up and down. I mean, it's Father Time, is undefeated. So if it's a physical decline, it's not because, he hasn't worked for it, man. He's been doing a lot of hard graft for many years, man. And this is a team that was playing 50, 60 games year on, year out. They'll get into finals regularly when they weren't winning the league. They'll get into finals, so that they are used to success to a certain degree, right? But yeah, it looks like their summer window on paper might have been one. But when you look at it now, You know, hindsight is a beautiful thing, but when you look at it now, was it the right decision to go that top heavy? Probably not. You know, they needed to get another centre back because obviously if Van Dijk or Konate goes down, who they got to come in and play? You know, they're probably gonna have to put.
They had there, but he got injured, didn't he? The Italian guy.
Youngster, isn't it? But yeah, he was.
Yeah, but I mean, he
They
wasn't
were trying to get Mark
It was
Gay
more
as
for
well.
the future. They wanted Gahey. They didn't really get Gahey. Do you know what I mean?
That was a big. I'm not gonna lie, Ed. When they didn't get him,
yeah.
and they got Isak, I was like, right, who do I prefer? And I was like, you know what? I'm actually happy they didn't get Gahey. I'm not gonna lie, because I just thought I don't like this. And now they didn't address that. You know, you got Ikatike. I don't know what was. I get it. I get it, because obviously Jota, God rest his soul, and then obviously Darwin Núñez. So you're gonna get 2 attackers, but you just look at it and you're thinking you should have really moved for Gahey early. You did this Ikatike thing where you were messing about with Newcastle. You wanted Isak, and then okay, no, we'll let you go for him, and then no, we'll grab him, and then we'll get Isak later. It's bully boy tactics, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? To get the guy.
It's looking like a bit of a backfire at the moment, right? You know what I mean?
I don't think the big one is the Wirtz. You actually think about it now and think, if you didn't buy Wirtz, would Liverpool be better off or worse? And I think probably better off, because that 116M could have got you 2 serious. Like, you could have actually got Gahey easily. You could have get wrapped up, and you could have gone and got yourself another left back. I mean, good enough to come in and start, or a right back. You could have said, all right, we're going to go for one of the best out here now. Do you know what I mean? We're going to test the resolve of these clubs for that. So I do look at that and think, did you need this number 10?
No, because they don't play with 10s either. They don't play with 10s either.
They don't play with 10s, yeah. And and another thing I think one thing they made a mistake was getting rid of Luis Diaz, because the work he put on the left, because he played for the left-hand side.
He wanted to go, though.
He wanted to go. The defensive work that he used to do, I think that's the other thing that's exposing their left-hand side as well, because that's one thing he was as a workhorse in that aspect. So they've lost that defensive steel as well. But he made a great point with it. You take Versa, that team, are they any different? Not really. He's, if anything, so
getting taken out though.
He is.
That's the thing.
Yeah, he's 116. We say 116 men play on a bench consistently as well. What a great look.
Listen, selfishly, again, I'm just glad my agenda is bearing fruit. This is just like manna from heaven. I got told, oh, Ed, watch. Wirtz is going to come to the league and do dirt. The only one that's been dirty is him, man. He's been trash. He's been absolutely trash, man. Trash, being dropped in the big games. Can only do his dirt in Germany. Isn't it coincidence that he went back to Frankfurt and he matched them up, but can't do Brentford anything? And let's respect Brentford actually, because it was a masterful game. I know we're talking about Liverpool having a crisis, but that's Man United and Liverpool that you dispatched at your home ground, with ease. It wasn't like no scrappy 2-1. This was like a convincing. They beat them up, punched them up.
So they're the best 3 players in the summer.
Yeah,
that's true. And the only thing as well, though, Ed, I think you're right, and Nine, that's a great point. With Brentford, I watched that game on the hate watch, and I've got to say, I would have given them 10 out of 10 for that, because it was fantastic. It was a fantastic watch. The only thing that stressed me out was that Aya at the end, where the ball was played to him, and rather than go into the ball, you can see my guy there. You actually just backed off, and then you got intercepted, and obviously Salah. And I looked at that and I thought, right, Salah scored. You don't want him to score. He hasn't scored for so long. Now he's scored. Is he going to go on a run now?
Nasty finish.
Nasty finish. Top finish. Yeah. And then you looked at, and he looked really bad again. Take away the finish. He was horrible again. And then I looked at that and I thought, okay, the minutes added on. And even after the minutes added on, they added on another 2 minutes after that. So when Szoboszlai hit that, I thought they're going to get a draw. Honestly, I was like, they're resigned to getting a draw. So they even got helped at the end again. They keep getting these miraculous minutes added on for some reason. But listen, it is a crisis now. I'm not really hearing from Liverpool supporters. I'm waiting until they start turning on certain players. But listen, it's early days.
Do you know who they're turning on? So low key, it's Slot now.
Yeah, I heard that.
I've seen a couple of my guys that support Liverpool are saying, listen, if he needs to buck up his ideas. One in particular said, if he does not buck up his ideas, they can sack him. I said, raw.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take your championship managing.
Just won him a title. Let's
real already. So
Klopp has to earn his. Listen, Liverpool supporters, Klopp has to earn his stripes.
You mean Slot?
Slot.
Sorry, my bad. Sorry, I think I'm thinking what all of these Liverpool supporters are thinking deep down. Sorry, but yes, Slot needs to really earn his stripes. And just to add some, little facts to what's going on now. Wirtz has to start hitting the ground running. Defensively, you need to improve for January. That's the only time you can really improve on that. Salah needs to try to hit form. Obviously, the fullbacks.
He's going to AFCON.
I was just about to say that.
Is it mid-December?
He's just latter to that. So he's going to AFCON now. Now, if Egypt go further on, you're missing him. Some Liverpool supporters are telling me that's a blessing in disguise. And that, my friends, that comment there tells me you're in a crisis, because you've been telling me for the last 2 years that Salah can talk to Henry. Salah is better than Henry. This is what they were saying. So you would never, in the history of Arsenal Football Club, hear an Arsenal supporter saying, if Henry goes, I think it'll be a blessing. One of your best players, a blessing in disguise. You're all over the place and you're on the ropes. And you know you are right now. A
100%.
lot of people have been coming on. But listen, it is early days. You spent 400 million. So I expect you to turn things around. But let's just move on to somebody that's flexing right now. Now, Manchester United, 3 in a row. Amorim flexing. He's got a little bit of a spring in his step. I love after the first win or the second 2 in a row when he went, no. Keep the same energy in the press conference. I don't want to hear it before you're about my tactics. Keep the same energy. And I want the Man United supporters as well. You know who you are. Keep the same energy. Amorim out. He's our worst. He's one of the worst ever. Bring back Solskjaer. It doesn't work. The system doesn't work. He's so stubborn. Oh, look what he done to our youth team players. Oh, he's just a nasty man. Now you're flexing. You got the bass back in your voice now. Yeah. You were MJ for the last, 8 games or 5 games. Now you're back to Barry White. You're now, you're flexing now. Now Man United are doing their thing. I know you guys very well. And I'm asking you, Amorim out? Or are you actually going to believe in his philosophy? One of you two can answer that for me, because they are flexing at the moment. They're doing their thing.
Let them flex, man.
I've heard top 4 for some of the fans at the moment. So
let them flex, man. Let them flex. With United, just wait, man. Just wait. Another defeat is around the corner. And then another defeat is around the corner. Then another one. Then another one. If they're smart, they will say Amorim out. If they're smart. If they're smart. But United fans are never smart. They're some of the dumbest fans we've ever in their life. So
long live it. It says everything about the stand of Man United, where they're celebrating 3 wins in a row, isn't it?
Oh, you guys
everything about it.
Says
everything.
Guys,
I will give them
this is nasty work from you two. Give credit where credit.
I will give credit where credit's due. Brian's defending was awful. First things first, right? Absolutely shocking. But I did say at the start of when they were swimming against Arsenal, the front 3 will cause some problems. I thought Sesko, a bit decent link play as well. I thought, he's starting to settle down in that front 3. And
you like link play, Naeem, do you?
Always. You've seen me play football. You always link and play that sort of thing.
Link play. Let me just mark that down.
Have you seen now? Now they're saying Sesko is 1,000,000% better than Gyökeres now.
Of course, that's naturally everyone's going to say that, but I'm not saying that myself. But I thought Man United going forward look decent. That's just a nice thing I could say about them. But I'm also with Ed. We've seen this movie before.
You two are nasty because look, man. They win 1 game, they can't win 2 in a row. They've done 2 in a row. They can't win 3 in a row. They've won 3 in a row. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I watched that game again, and I thought it was going to be a really tough game. Can
we all clap for them? Let's all clap. Clap?
I won't go that far.
The game was a kudos.
No. Let's.
It's nasty work, Ed, man. Do you know what I mean? No, look, fair play. The one thing is I looked at that fixture and I thought Brighton, and I've got to say, I don't want to go too early. I'm actually slightly worried about Brighton this season. They just don't seem the same. Now, look, I've watched them a couple of times this season. there's a few things missing here. I think sometimes when you've been in the Prem for a while, listen, I'm not going to try to say relegation, but the sort of standard you put on Brighton that I've put on them in the last couple of years is like, yeah, this team, and I thought they were poor. I thought Minte was horrific. I should have known from the beginning. I mean, the touches, I think he had a chance there and he could have just literally thank God it was offside. I thought Welbeck is playing fantastic, but they just didn't look. I don't know. I think it's going to be a tougher season. I don't think I can't. Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting season for them. Not relegation at all, of course. They're a very good team.
A lot of peaks and troughs. You'll see. They'll go through a few games.
This is the weakest I've seen them, man. Because usually
starting to run out. Like, you know, when you've gone to the World a few times and you keep on getting these players from, you know, overseas that no one's heard of, and the next thing you know, they're getting linked for 200 million. You reckon it's, you know, like with Southampton. They had that period where they were like really good. They were like a solid Prem team, right?
Yeah.
They were getting like 8th, and then they were threatening for Europe. And then all of a sudden, they sold their players. They couldn't replace them anymore. They weren't replacing the players they lost with the same sort of verve as they were once doing.
Yeah.
So do you reckon this is sort of what's happening with Brighton, where they're losing some of their main guys, and they're not really good, some of the other signings they're buying aren't producing the goods like we once thought they were doing?
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with that. I think
I don't want to go too anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to go too early, but I get the sentiment on that one, Ed. Because
is their recruitment team gone? Has their recruitment team changed in the background? I think there's been a few movements. Chelsea take half that backroom staff.
Yeah, they do, but even still, I just looked at that game and I was like, there's something missing. There's something. Listen, look, it's early in the season, 9 games in, but I looked there and I thought, yeah, you're not the team that I was thinking. Oh my God, I'm gonna fear them going. But I mean, they were poor. I mean, they've been marching to Old Trafford 3 years in a row or what have you, and literally just crashing it on them. I mean, like, you know, I'm talking about 16 passing goals and then it's a goal. Like they're so I was expecting a bit more from them. I mean, great free kick from Welbeck. But look, Man United, they're sticking to the 3-4-3. You know, the front. I have to give him credit for that, because obviously he played against Liverpool. You know, he played with Mount, Cunha, and then Mbeumo. But this time he actually said, look, we'll play with Sesko, Cunha on the left. Good finish from him as well. Mbeumo, you know what he does. He's here to score goals. So look, that front three, like you said, Naeem, it's a dangerous front three. If they could just keep it quite tight, it looks like the midfield looks a little bit more balanced.
More settled, yeah. Maybe just consistently playing. They haven't kept chopping and changing the players.
Yeah. So, got to give him credit.
Confidence, like I said, yeah. But let's see. Confidence as well,
Yeah, confidence now. They're going into a tough game. They have... Who do they have on the weekend? They have...
You see when you're winning, though, innit? So, Amorim, you can flex.
Oh, they're away at Forest. They're away at Forest.
Yeah. They're going to smack up Forest, man.
They're Forest.
I don't know, I think... I don't know, man.
They
just to put with Ed was making a point. One thing with Brighton is with all those turnaround of players, especially with the young players. One thing I've always thought is that it's all about timing of when they peak and get used to the Premier League. And when you've got so many changes in that respect, I think you're always going to have that danger, isn't it? Where they've probably got some because they've got some really highly good rated players there now still, but is it that they're not ready yet, or they're a bit too
probably?
Yeah, their turnaround of players is ridiculous, and as it Baleba and that Mint will be the next two, won't it? I think.
Like the guy that scored the goal from the corner from what's his name, Milner. Never seen and never heard of him. Some Greek under 18 guy. It's a situation where like they find all these guys, but I think like the guys that they're finding now, they're not unearthing the gems as quickly as they once were.
I think people have clocked on, haven't they? I think they're trying to copy the Brighton model more so, isn't it? I think.
And Belieber's head's gone already.
His head's gone.
He was shocking. Honestly, I was thinking, right, look, this is the team you wanted to go to. This is, you look at the difference of Caicedo. Caicedo was linked with Arsenal. He actually publicly come out, I'm going. I don't know how much we were willing to go for him on that one. He came back to play in the 6 and a right back. and he just looked fantastic for the rest of that season. That's just the difference here, isn't it? You know, you believe you're linked with Man United, not a force as it was in the summer, and your head's gone already. Minte, you know what I mean? It's just like, this was your audition again. Come and do your thing, and you just struggled there. Welbeck, he did well, but yeah.
Great free kick. I didn't know had that in his locker.
Ed? I didn't know that.
Where was that when he played for us, man? Where was that when he played for us?
I mean, credit to him that he developed as getting older and older. You know, he used to have a lot of injuries. He's keeping a bit more fit now, and he's playing. He's Brighton's because they look a much better team when he's in the team when he's not. Right, that's credit.
Yeah, definitely.
Credit.
No, I agree with you.
Looks like a proper. He's gonna be like the Barclaysman. He's a proper Barclaysman. You know that meme that was going around. Danny Welbeck. You know when they're talking about the Barclays heritage players, like the Sean Phillips. That's Danny Welbeck. He's going to be one of those guys.
No, he's doing his thing, man. Welbeck,
solid Premier League legend.
Pro.
Definitely, man. He's done very well. Right now, look, Manchester City. I think we're going to be doing some tussling here. We go to Villa. Villa, interesting team. I think, especially an Emery team, because when you think Emery's down and out, back-to-back wins. Listen. Villa was struggling at the beginning of the season. You had, Morgan Rogers obviously wanting his move. Some people say, some sulking. You've got Watkins not really firing as much. You're looking around thinking things have been a bit stale here with Villa. But look, they go to Spurs. They beat them 2-1. And then at home to Man City. That's tough. When you look at that and you're a team that's struggling and you've got away at Spurs and at home at City, listen, that's even a tough fixture for Arsenal or City or Liverpool. Those two games back to back, and they've got 3 points. You know what I mean? Cash is cutting in a great finish. And the question I need to ask, and I keep saying this, I've said this before, I got shut down for it, but people are telling me, watch out for City, watch out for City. Listen, City, one of the greatest Premier League teams that we've ever seen. But this season especially, watch out for City, watch out for City. And I said it. If they get injury to Haaland, I think it's going to be problems for City. I don't think they're going to be doing what people think they're going to do. And I'm just going to pose the question. No Haaland goals, no City win. Because I've watched them this season. He's made the difference now. He didn't score. They didn't win. And I think I stand by that. I might be shut down in the future, and I'm willing to do that. He is just an exceptional striker, and I think he's got him out of jail. 1-0 away at Brentford as well. Again, it's Haaland. He's just getting him out of problems. And I'm thinking, if you shut him down, what else is going to happen? And look, so far, my agenda is right. It's only one game in.
I think Rodri's a miss. Rodri's obviously not been fit this season either. He's out injured again. I think.
Yeah. Is he cooked for real though? Like, do you reckon he's done?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think because of the knee injury,
it takes.
Once you get a knee injury, then the rest of your muscles start to, be
That's
affected.
what I mean. Like, once you do your ACL, and he's not the youngest player. He's not like he's 23. I think he's
28,
29. I think.
Must be about that. Yeah. So, we don't know in it because he's come back, and they always say that you pick up injuries straight. You've been out for a bit, and it looks like that's happened. I think the last player to be out for that period where the injury was Timber, wasn't it? I think Timber had a very well. So, and it took him about 6 months to get up to speed, didn't they? Back in the second, when he came back the next. So maybe that, but he's been injured again, and I think I can't disagree with him. I mean, how many goals, Premier League goals, has Haaland scored already this season?
I think he's on 11.
11, and without those goals, points City would have been on. Says a lot. I think you are there one man. You can't say that one man team, but without him scoring, there's no real threat in terms of scoring goals, isn't it? Where De Bruyne is not there anymore. My thoughts on Foden is very clear. And from the wings, they don't have that goal threat. I know back in the day, we used to talk, but Sterling used to score a few. Mahrez. You look at the players; they've lost the goals from the wide side as well. So
there's no De Bruyne to score.
Look, Mamouche, I understand missing, and your guy's back though. He's back though, Ed.
Yeah, but that's why I'm not gonna go or join you rather with if you stop Haaland, you can stop City. You're right, but I do think there's a little bit of context, even though I hate to use that word. You know,
Why?
certain players that are out. You know, Marmoush is not back fit. I think if Marmoush is starting and he's healthy, I think if you can shut down Haaland, I think he might be able to chip in with goals. Foden, we can't trust him anymore. Foden, we can't trust him. Doku, you can't trust.
Marmoush disappeared for AFCON. Let's not forget. Marmoush disappeared for AFCON as well with Egypt.
Yeah.
So you know, you've got that gap as well. So it'd be interesting to get him gets fit and then he's off to AFCON.
Yeah. I think we need a bigger
Marmoush
sample
off,
size.
God forbid, injury to Haaland.
They do. You're right. They do have to wrap him in cotton wool, but I do believe that they've been not. I won't say unlucky, but certain players. The Marmoush has been a bigger miss than I think they let.
But can they wrap Haaland in cotton wool? Because listen, you start getting to, 6 points off the top, which is still very, very early. You don't really want to start drawing any more games. And if your title rivals keep winning, because now you're gonna be not in a position to be resting for Premier League games, and then you'll probably still start thinking, right, but we're in the Champions League as well, so we've got to play Wednesday, Thursday. Can I rest Haaland?
Not so much resting. The hallmark of Pep's City teams where they always peaked at the right time, so they always peaked at the running. So what they would need to do is, you can't bench Haaland, but what you can do is hope that he scores 3 in 50 minutes and then you sub him on the 60th minute and him not play as many minutes. Because that's what Pep's good at. Pep was always good at managing his players' minutes so that they always peaked at the right time. Whereas other managers, because they don't have that bigger squad or that deeper squad, have to rely on their 1 or 2 stars to help them win games. Whereas Pep, he had a brilliant squad, a deep squad, match winners everywhere. So
Bernardo Silva, obviously, De Bruyne,
Gundogan with key in the running, Alvarez you could rely on. Do you know what I mean? So it's a situation where, he could always have weapons all over the pitch at any given time, and then by March, machine.
But he doesn't have those weapons now.
He doesn't.
I think a lot of pressure is obviously he's done the rebuild. Look, as I said, they're one of the greatest teams we've ever seen in Premier League history. I just kind of think the over-reliance on Haaland now, from what I've been seeing, is just a difference. And Reinders started okay.
Yeah,
I'm looking around. I'm thinking, are these guys?
Gonzalez is mid. There's a couple duds in that squad. And
it's very early days as well, but I think it's dangerous to be 6 points off, and then you're over-reliant on. You can't say over-reliant because they pay him a king's ransom, man. Like he's supposed to do. You don't pay him that sort of money, Haaland, and not expect him. Oh my God, he's overused. But I do kind of think. I just feel like one injury and it's a problem. Like look, you've said the same thing. Like you reckon that Rodri's a huge injury now. We're looking at Rodri and Haaland down, and then we're in big trouble now, because you're going to be looking around and you're hoping Marmoush. He's only been here for 6 months before. I thought he's a decent player. Obviously, you got Ryan Sterky. Now look, it's time to step up as well. Obviously, you weren't
from injury though. To be fair,
that's true. But this is the pressure now, though. This is like you got to come in and just to hit the ground running, because. So it's going to be interesting.
The mentality will be interesting for those two, because you look at Cherki and Reinders, both came from clubs who struggled last year a bit. With Lyon's historically recently haven't been great. That that environment, and even AC Milan, they missed out in Europe. So it'll be interesting.
They got turned over by Man United, didn't they, Lyon? So I mean, that's
there you go. Well, they shouldn't have. That was a bit of a crazy. Was that the Maguire last minute?
I can't discount City though.
You can't.
No, you're right.
What's helping them is we're not talking about them. It's usually the focus is on Arsenal being top of the league, and obviously Liverpool's fall off currently, right? But the fact that no one's really giving any credence to what City can do, I think it suits them though. I think they like the fact that they can just go about their business quietly. Yeah. I know they lost on the weekend, obviously, but if they'd won that game. Yeah, it's a bit different at the table.
That was a huge loss, though, for me. I reckon.
Oh, beautiful loss. I think loss for us.
Yeah, I think for them, they were slowly just thinking, right? Yeah, let's just keep on there coattails here. You know, even at halftime, you're gonna know you're 1-0 down, and you think, okay, what's going on with Arsenal? Are they 1-0 up?
Yeah.
You know, it's
Long way to go.
yeah.
27 games, so.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, it is very, very early days, but look, man. But let's give Villa their credit. Unai Emery is a manager who, you know, sometimes he does split, you know, opinions on that. I think he's a very, very good manager, and that's back-to-back good wins for them. It's good. It's very, very good for them because obviously he hit the heights of getting them into the Champions League and stuff. Although it's very disappointing from them how the season ended. I think this season, I would hope that Villa will be concentrating on some sort of trophy. You know, I would hope, because I think that's what Emery does. You know, no matter what you say about him, you know, he is a winner. You might not like his style. You might know that he can sometimes shit the bed with certain, you know, performances, but he is always there or thereabouts with it.
He's in his competition, isn't he? He's in his Europa League.
It's exactly. So hopefully Morgan Rogers can start hitting some form now, obviously getting the players back. I kind of feel for Villa. It's one of them situations, especially for the supporters. You look at the last 2 years ago when Emery come in, and you think as a club, you just want progression onto the next thing. You look at obviously with Arteta, you know, you go into that title race 21-22, I believe it was. And then you just want progression. You go into another one and you start signing more players. I feel a bit sorry for Villa fans because the financial restraints, you think they've done well. They get back into the Champions League. They've got top players all over the place. And then you're having to sell to buy. And it's kind of like, okay, what's going on here? Like, this doesn't make sense. You know, it's a bit of a kick in the teeth because you just expect them to get stronger and, we'll give them more money because you're in the Champions League. You can spend what you want. But they can't really spend what they want financially.
I think they needed Champions League again back to back. The way they've spent, because their wages their wages
90% of turnover.
To turnover, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Which is like, and I think the difference between them and a lot of, so I think they gambled a bit as well.
Yeah,
around it as well. Which you need to gamble sometimes. And let's not be fair. Look at where they are versus that Gerrard team, for example. That wasn't that long of a time ago. But I think that's where the risk is. I think that sell was it. What's his name? Ramsey. Yeah, and then Ramsey.
Jacob Ramsey, yeah.
Yeah, Newcastle.
That's pure profit. Yeah.
And Diaby went as well. So
Leo Bailey's on loan, I think, elsewhere.
Yeah,
I mean, these are big. You look at that now. You think, you know, they could have done something for that team right now. It's a bit of a loss. So it's very frustrating. If Villa fans hit us up, let us know how you're feeling, because
same points as Liverpool, though. Same points as Liverpool. As much as they had a really poor start of the season, they now got the same points as Liverpool. 1 point.
Turned it around. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You know, you get a couple of wins. And you can turn things around. Man United, obviously, a couple of wins, they're in and amongst it.
Wait, ain't Man United above Liverpool? They are, aren't it?
Yes, they're fourth. I think they're fourth.
Yeah, and no European football as well. So Man United can really concentrate on domestic things right now. That's what I'm saying. You know, keep an eye out. Very, very early. But if they continue this, then they can, you know, concentrate on domestic things. And to be fair, they must be looking at this now. I'm feeling maybe we've turned the corner, but we'll see what happens. We gotta obviously have to touch on Chelsea, Sunderland. Obviously, Granit Xhaka, one of Naeem's best Arsenal players. I think he's top 3 in us.
Yes.
In his last.
We can't defeat him, can we? We can't defeat him.
Xhaka.
We can't defeat this guy, man.
We can't get rid of him, bro. He just comes back. And I will
message me in the group chat saying, Ed, did you see Jack on the weekend? How comes he's got Sunderland in second? I said, shut up, man.
He says everything. He had stayed at Arsenal. Arsenal won one of those titles. I say it with chest.
Possibly, but he left, didn't it? You know what I mean? But we can't defeat this guy. We can't defeat this guy.
You could never.
He makes me sick. Honestly.
Granit Xhaka, bro. Credit.
But listen, Chelsea supporters, Chelsea. Listen, you can't lose at home to newly promoted teams. Now, I don't really care about Sunderland. And look, to be fair, they've actually surprised me, because when they came up, I thought, right, and it's still early days. But thought, no way you're going to be in the top 3. No chance. And they've gone to Stamford Bridge to put on a great performance. I mean, when Garnacho scored, really good finish. Looked very sharp, actually. And I was thinking, all right, Garnacho, don't have to tap back onto your right. You just did a quick shimmy onto your left
and then
through the goalkeeper's legs. Very nice finish. I'm thinking,
the keeper.
Oh, were you? It's a bit difficult then, one. But anyway, you score. You know, they score scrappy equaliser, and the finish was lovely for the winner. Lovely. But what's your thoughts, man, boys? Because they're
a weird side, Chelsea, innit? They're a weird side. They're a weird side. On their day, they're capable of, like we saw in the Club World Cup, punching up PSG in the final.
They beat Liverpool a couple of weeks ago.
But I wasn't expecting them to lose. But I also wasn't surprised that they lost, if that makes sense.
Really?
It's a shock, but I wasn't surprised because it's like Chelsea are a weird side. They've got that in them to lose to Sunderland at home. They just have that in them. They're weird.
Young team, isn't it? Very good. Young teams.
I didn't see them losing to Sunderland, bro.
No, 1-0 up as well. 1-0 up as well. And 1-0 up as well, weren't there as well? Which is,
if you look at their business model, it's not really making sense. They haven't replaced Thiago Silva. Hell, they probably haven't even replaced Ron Terry, but that's a different conversation. But defensively, they're still weak. They've got a discipline problem. Malagusta got sent off. I think they've had 4 or 5 red cards in the last 6 or 7 games, something crazy like that.
The best 6 in world football, so I don't quite understand.
Nothing, man. I haven't got the best nothing. Please, let's
stop. Casado play? Did Casado? I don't know.
No, he got dog walked by Xhaka, so I'm not trying to hear that. He got dog walked. Xhaka won 6 out of 7 duels against him, and it was a real masterclass, right? So Chelsea fans will tell you that they got the best this, they got the best that, they got the best this, they got the best that. Then they'll serve up rubbish. So again, I'm not buying Chelsea, man. They're a weird side. Defensively, they're weak. The goalkeeper's not fit for the service. João Pedro started off the season really, really well, right? I think he hasn't had a shot on target in his past 5 or 6 games. I know he scored early, but I think he's currently on 008 or 9. No goals, no assists in his last 6 games, right? Not enough has been spoken about João Pedro. Not enough has been spoken because I know Chelsea have had their sort of inconsistencies with their 9s. They probably haven't had a decent 9 since Diego Costa. But for him to be stinking like this, not even getting shots off, not even getting shots on target, just anonymous showings, listless showings. Yeah, more needs to be spoken about because it's easy to speak on Gyökeres. It's easy to talk about Sesko. João Pedro, you bought for big money, 50, 60 million. That's not no small change. Yeah, what's going on, man? I wasn't expecting you to be this bad, to be fair. So
no, it's. I mean, listen, it's fair play. Obviously, you've got Enzo Fernandez as well. We've got to be looking at obviously Casado, the best 6. Look, the Chelsea supporters have spent good on 3 to 4 weeks. For some reason, they cannot stop mentioning Rice. Before a couple of seasons ago, it was just Cole Palmer against Saka. They could. I just don't understand the obsession with right. Let's just say that our player is better than one of Arsenal's, and then it's just consistent. And look. You're watching what Rice is doing, who's winning the most duels. Casado is good. He'll walk into any team. But like you said, he got dog walked by Xhaka on Saturday. And you shouldn't lose at home, to a newly promoted team. However, they do have Spurs next, Naeem. And it seems to be a very favourable fixture for Chelsea. And I think they're desperate to turn that around because I don't think they want to lose back-to-back games. So
home or away, Chelsea?
I think they are
at Spurs.
Spurs.
That's got draw written all over it,
I think so. I think Chelsea. I think with the young
Saturday evening.
This Saturday upcoming evening. Interesting.
Okay.
Again,
on me.
Exactly. Yeah, I can see. I think it's a draw. I can see a draw all over that. To be fair, but
both teams dare not lose this.
No, No.
Either supporters, you dare not lose this one because
we'll see. I think credit goes to go 1-0 down. Chelsea, regardless of young team, regardless 1-0, Champions League team, world champions. Let's not forget world champions. Yes, of course. So 1-0 up at home. But yeah, I thought Sunderland, the whole season they've been good. There's been no real. I wouldn't say they've fluked any games. They've got points off. They've played pretty well. And credit to Xhaka. I think he's leading like a captain. I'll be honest with you, when he signed there, I think everyone was like, "Hang on, really?" So even especially his entrance video.
That's what I feel as well. Really,
yeah,
Sunderland.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, he's been bossing it for them, and pure credit to him, and credit for people who've backed him throughout his career as well.
Yeah, these Xhaka lovers, these pro Xhaka.
He on the football pitch at the moment. If I came on Wednesday, you'd say exactly what I'd do. And
man said credit to the people who backed him for his whole career.
When he was playing against us, when he was playing against us, killing us for years, mind you.
He wasn't. That was due to some tactic. He wasn't a defensive midfield player. Don't get me started.
What's he playing? Was he playing at Sunderland?
Is that that 8? Look how well he played for Arsenal when he got Partey next to him, right? He didn't have to do that.
He's not at the base for Sunderland. He's playing as the 8.
He's playing in that little fluid playmaker position. I think you haven't watched enough of him. I'm just saying, it's fine. We'll pick this up. But
fine. Listen, fine. Thank you guys, man. It's been very truthful, and sometimes the truth hurts. So if you're offended by anything that was said today, sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes it does hurt, but it is what it is. But don't forget to like, subscribe. Thank you, Edward. Thank you, Naeem, for that shameless I vomited in my mouth with that little monologue about giving credit to the supporters of Xhaka. Ed, you fell for it. That's why I didn't engage with him. Like, you're engaging too much with Naeem. You know what he's doing. Just say, well done to Xhaka.
Look at the guys you love, man.
All I gave love to was Xhaka this week.
Xhaka, Sesko, and Szoboszlai.
And Enzo.
Enzo, you got made up. I'll take it.
That's a nasty 4.
The quartet. But yeah, take care, man. Peace out.
Peace.